and I will be discussing pension reform. Due to overpromising and underfunding, America's public pension system is in distress. State and local governments across the country are now dealing with defined benefit pension plans that are way underfunded. They're struggling on how to deal with this crisis now. Public sector retirement plans are known for being more generous than private sector retirement plans. And now state and local governments all across the country are fretting about how they're going to provide states' constitution-mandated retirement plan benefits to the baby boomer population. Cutting benefits, raising taxes, even on non-state employees, or receiving assistance from the federal government are all options that are being considered. There has been no transparency at the state levels until recent retirees that are now worried that the retirement that they've been saving for their whole lives is not going to be available. At the minimum, states should provide a complete and accurate prediction of the amount that is owed to retirees and the amount that is currently available and their funding shortages. There is also great debate on how to value pension plans. This is not only a hypothetical matter, but it also depends on the ever-moving value of assets and how the plan has been managed over time. Depending on the source of information, state public sector pension underfunding ranges from $842 billion to over $4 trillion. Most retirement systems have more than one retirement plan. Plans vary from profession to profession. A teacher, for instance, would have a different plan compared to a judge or a state legislature. However, some states only have one retirement program nowadays. States vary as to the percentage amount that employees are required to contribute. There are also different eligibility requirements. Some states have even now eliminated their defined benefit plan altogether and only are offering a 401k plan. It's hard to change pension plans for current employees, but new changes can be more easily applied to new hired employees in the benefit plan. To help aid pension reform, many states are seeking alternative retirement plans. State and local governments are starting to move their retirement plans to defined contribution plans, more commonly known as the 401k plans. Although 401k plans give participants more control over their investments, they require contributions from the participants, as to where the defined benefit plan doesn't necessarily require the participant to contribute to their account. Some of the changes made in states to help with funding shortages is increasing contribution percentage requirements or just reducing the benefits for new hires. Private sector defined benefit plans have become extinct over the past decade. Those who had long-term good paying jobs enjoyed the benefits that companies offered of the defined benefit plan. However, this has become just a memory in today's environment. State and local governments are making changes to defined benefit plans, such as raising the retirement age, changing calculations to determine final average salaries, and also requiring new hires to enroll in the 401k plan. Several states have begun to implement pension reforms. Take, for example, New Jersey. They recently passed public sector pension reform to address one of the most poorly funded pensions in the country. New Jersey state employees are now required to increase their pension contributions. This reform also requires state and local governments to make their full annual contributions to the state retirement plan. Another cause of pension plan underfunding is the declining value of assets during prior recession. In addition to the slow recovering economy, it has also caused funding issues. There's really a double whammy with the asset values dropping and the reduction in revenue causing governments to not have the money to fund their pension plans. Funding of state and local defined benefit plans is not a priority for these governments, especially for those where the benefit obligations will not become payable for many years. Elected officials are prone to spend funds in places that can be seen or that benefit the voters who put them in office. In addition, the requirements for funding private sector retirement plans do not apply to public sector plans, giving considerable discretion when deciding the employer contribution. Some state and local governments recently have been negatively impacted due to the obligations becoming due with no funding. This is currently a factor in the bankruptcies of Detroit, Michigan, and the California cities of Stockton and San Bernardino. In conclusion, the state of public pension plans has already caused states' credit ratings to reduce and therefore raised their cost of borrowing. When states finally realize that they will need to borrow the money through bond issues to fund these pension plan shortfalls, they will find that it will be a very expensive way to address their pension obligations. We are at a point in time where the baby boomers are now at retirement age. With no regulation to dictate requirements for funding at 100% or more, employee cost sharing, limiting cost of living adjustments, limiting employees to artificially inflate their pay immediately prior to retirement, and setting realistic assumptions as to pension earnings, state governments will not recover from this crisis. As you can see, this is an example of the City of Jacksonville and their contributions to the police and fire pension plan and how the cost that employees have to contribute has increased over the years. Thank you.